pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schultz.
Here.
Mr. Randolph.
Here.
Mr. Ward. Here. Mr. Alves.
Here.
Any changes to the agenda for today?
I don't have any.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any corrections to the September 2024 minutes? September 10th, 2024 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discuss courthouse heating and cooling code. Did everybody get all their questions answered? Great.
And what we talked about the day I was here too?
Yep.
He said that upstairs on the attic, they're gonna go with gas instead of electric. When he was down with current electric, when they went with him, they thought it would be better to put gas up there instead of electric, and it saves on our electrician bill. He thought it would double it, or if not triple it, if you put up there, so that's why they're doing that. So, but Rick said if he had any questions or whatever, could call him, but he thought that would be,
I'm curious how the condensate and the drain works, but I'm sure they'll address that. I'm not worried about it. I just wondered what the process would be.
and Rick said it wouldn't change their bid, might even make it a little less. He didn't know for sure till they get into stuff what it's gonna be, but
I would make a motion we do it.
Motion to proceed with Sibley Sheet Metal and Current Electric. I'll support that.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Update on the county system.
Well, I got phone calls last night, that Cheatham is gonna go by themselves. They had a meeting last night and discussed it. So we're out of picture.
Still do a 60-40 split.
100%
not?
their way.
We're giving up valuation too.
That's the way they voted. And what was it, when we met with, what's her name? And
Jenna.
Jenna.
Interesting. Excuse me if I missed a few meetings, but I thought they agreed to it.
They did, but Jenna was said from the lawyer's office,
Ayers and Cooney.
yeah, that we couldn't.
Not with that language.
Yeah, it either had to be a county TIF or a city TIF.
Mhm.
It couldn't be a 60-40 split. Either the county had to do it or the city had to do it. And we would have to incur debt by December 1 or we would have to incur their debt
Yeah.
or give them grants. It sounded really, she made it sound like not as simple as what Maggie made it sound.
No. Not near.
Well, Andre, do you know, the county doesn't have to give consent on a city urban renewal area. But if the county is within 2 miles of a city, we have to get joint agreement.
I believe that's
I think that's how it is.
So what do we lose for valuation for
Our general fund on the 6.5 million potential valuation there. Talking those mills or those bins would bring.
Or with the rollbacks, probably about, what, 5.5 million?
got you upset, Andre.
I don't think so. I think it's more clumsy, but one ways into it.
Yeah, so are we losing?
You know, the weird thing is, I just thought about this morning, because the thing's not working anymore, so it's open all the time, and sure enough, now I'll knock it over. Sorry, guys.
I can tap your new cup.
I don't have a calculator, I don't know what we would be.
At the city's levy rate, which includes the county general fund, I was getting about $150,000 a year off of their valuation, and that's what Maggie had figured. Like you guys were within 3,000 or 4,000, just kind of a little bit of things you factored in with rollback and stuff.
But we've never had that money, so are we losing?
We'd have it next year, and that was their point. Yeah, I'm just disappointed that they said they'd do a split if we were running it, and then they keep it all, but then they said we were trying to take advantage of them. But I need to let it go.
Between the, I can't remember, between the general, I think I did that.
We can do a little more research to see if we can overrule or not.
I really don't think we can.
I know we have to get their permission if we're within certain limits, but as far as
What they can do in
getting
their,
our permission within their city.
yeah,
I don't
and they're in their city limits, so I don't think there's much we can do about it.
I'm doing this top of my head, what our levy rate is, we'll probably be losing about the general, just the general fund, not general supplemental, about $17,900 roughly. But, our levy rates are probably gonna go down again, so it's just a very rough calculation of that.
And I believe Rochelle said that, Hollers and Cooney said that couldn't capture the new increment to pay on previous debt. So the idea of paying down the road debt faster was not really available.
That's what she told me, unless I worded it not correctly,
No, I
but,
think that's what I understood.
Overlapping TIF district
Yeah.
is what they said on the call, so that project is already in a TIF district.
I only thought that is we paid for a portion of that road with, colloquially called ethanol plant TIF. So I get that they were differently funded projects within that same area. So that's a different.
but we had to incur more debt
Yeah,
because,
different funds.
yeah, because we were short, and then we accrued more debt, so that created that. But with this, we already have the debt established. Ehlers and Cooney are,
They're strict.
yeah, I mean, they're paper pushers, and they have different opinions on stuff than what the previous firm had, I believe. But
To be honest, I kind of like that. Do it right.
That's not saying it's not been done right.
no, not at all. They just have different value or different opinions.
Approaches.
Yeah.
Well, approve the DOT budget amendment.
We probably got to wait
That's
till,
actually part of the 9 o'clock.
yeah.
It's part of that 9 o'clock. Yes.
I'm sorry, everything's taken.
I guess we'll just kind of hang out and watch that clock that don't work till 9 o'clock.
Yeah. I'll have to tell Reggie to get a new battery on that one.
It's gonna be ticking.
Yeah.
Do you want me to modify, make a motion, this is the current vote for the 4060 getting, that basically got negated due to our research?
No, there's really nothing we have to do, I don't think.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we have to resend that since it's not a,
It's voted and agreed on.
right?
I'm not sure. It was basically because of wording.
Well, we thought we thought that we could split that money, and Jenna said it either has to be the county doing it, incurring the debt and giving a grant to Ochean, or the city of Ochean would have to do it on their own. We couldn't do, in my mind, I just thought we would collect the money and we would keep 60% and 40% we would go to the city, but
That's what I thought.
we can't do that legally, she said.
Did she say you also had identified projects?
Yeah, so and I don't know with the grant money, I think they would have to have projects to us before we could give them the grant money.
Sure.
We just can't give them the money without some kind of debt. They were looking at the Tracy house to see if they could use some of that. And then seal coating some of their road projects. Yeah. And, Maggie said that the Tracy house would be probably a good project for economic development. Jenna said they just have to go through some hoops for the Tracy house. That might not be as simple as one would think, but just everything has to be done by December 1, so they got a lot of legwork to do. I think anybody's taking on our lawn.
Sure. I'm game.
Well, the bottom of my rain gauge got wet, but that was about it.
Good little.
0.15.
How much?
0.15. Lower.
Well, mine was wet, that's all I can say.
Didn't measure enough.
Up at Trevor's, they got a lot of rain for the football game. One of the players slipped. His whole jersey, his white jersey, was black, all mud everywhere. He probably had mud where places he shouldn't have had mud. Oh man! And the referee slipped, but he was graceful about it. He did okay.
I guess our granddaughter's marching Friday night, so I guess we're not leaving town.
Going to football game. Is that the last home game?
No,
They actually
home-
were in October.
This one's homecoming.
This
isn't
is
it?
one time this weekend.
Trevor has homecoming too. He's supposed to meet for a 500-person wedding this weekend too.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of meat.
Yeah, this is the second big one he had. I wouldn't even know 500 people to invite if it wasn't for family. I would not know 500 people to invite. I would not. And the whole town, that would be the whole town of Leola, because that's their population.
Come on, you got more than 500 votes.
Not that would come, I would know to invite to a wedding.
9 o'clock, we'll open the public hearing on the budget amendment. Any comments from the public?
I haven't received any written.
Since there's no comments from the public, we'll close the public hearing. And then we'll approve resolution number 3, 2425. Is there any discussion on that? If not, I'd take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3/24/25.
I'll support that.
Mr. Schulte,
Yep.
Mr. Helmers,
Aye.
Mr. DeVore,
Yeah.
Mr. Mansell.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approve DOT budget amendment.
This is in line with the budget amendment we just did, with basically the DOT process and how they break things down further. All the costs that are part of my budget amendment are essentially carry forward items from the previous fiscal year that, in terms of delays in construction or delays in receiving equipment. So for instance, our aggregate crushing, they didn't get to it because of the flood, so that's going to now happen now. Got pulled into this year. Asphalt maintenance, we did that slurry leveling down around Ashton, and that the bill, they did it late in the spring, but the bill didn't arrive until this fiscal year. Equipment, the trucks, the snow equipment just got completed and that arrived, and that was on last week's claim. So a lot of these things are just barely carrying over into the new fiscal year. And in the shop billing has not proceeded as I thought it would. It was about delayed by about one payment's worth. So the shop is progressing to be done by the end of the month. But some of the money I had in last year is going to be paid out in this year. So we ended the year with a very big balance in the engineering budget because of all this, but that's basically what this $1 million is. It's all carried forward. I have sent this to the DOT and they accepted that it looks fine to them if it's approved by the board. So.
So is the DOT budget amendment the same as, is that a separate form?
Well, my budget is approved through the board. The DOT, they matched to the penny. The only difference is they break it down in more detail than what you normally see.
Is there something that they have to sign? Or they just have to approve it by
As
motion?
long as it's approved by us. They sign off on it
Okay.
to show that we are spending our funds in accordance with state law. Mainly the thing that they look for is the 75% rule. We're spending 75% of appropriate property taxes towards road maintenance. They also look at, there's a time 21, there's a special subset of funding that has to be spent on bridge maintenance. So they make sure that part of our budget is allocated to that, which we are in compliance with.
Any further discussion?
I make a motion to approve the budget amendment.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We can discuss relocating, removing trees on courthouse grounds.
Well, John last Tuesday asked for stakes identifying where the building footprint would be, and he said it'd be here by Tuesday. Friday, he said it'd be Tuesday morning that they'd get here, but
Nothing.
I'd think a week to get that done so we can decide on something that he's requested as part of the process was reasonable. But they're not out there that I saw.
Would you like to table it
We
to our
want-
next meeting?
Well, or maybe even after the drainage district, maybe they'll get here this morning and look at it, but
Said first thing Tuesday morning. I'm not for sure what first thing means. So
First thing.
I would think 8 o'clock. I don't know.
So, yeah,
never-
We had discussion at the conservation meeting that maybe some of those trees could be used out there too. Because it's county ground and county conservation, and I said maybe that would be a good idea. Only in campgrounds, otherwise.
We need trees at Hawkeye Point.
Well, yeah, one of the two, yeah, wherever.
That's a shorter drive.
I don't think once you get them up, it makes much difference on the drive.
They charge you by the mile.
Andy's quote was just by the hour, but more miles is gonna be more time clearly, but I talked to Nick too. He said he didn't know if he could keep that larger one.
Yeah, he didn't recommend keeping it. He didn't think it would survive.
Even here,
What do you mean? To remove
moving
it.
in here, I'd gotten the
That's what
impression
Nick
he
said.
was
He said,
worried
I
out there,
wouldn't,
but
I wouldn't think that tree would survive the move. It's too big, he said, so I don't know.
You're just moving it across the courthouse grounds.
Maybe.
yeah, I thought he'd indicated with it a little more protected here than out at Willow Creek that it'd have a better chance. I guess I'd
I'm
like
not,
to give it a try.
I think it's
but-
probably worth trying, but he just said he didn't have a lot of, that's a big tree to move.
I have to make sure we really water them.
Yeah, and I talked to Reggie, and he said he'd do whatever
Oh,
he
yeah.
could. He said, we've got the hoses when they reestablished the lawn. We've got hoses to get everywhere, so.
Yeah, he'll do a good job with that.
My idea, whichever is the last tree on that line that stays, is if you just bring two of them east of there, kind of matching the curve of that sidewalk, kind of blocking the big blank south end of the new building. And then the other ones I would certainly support going to Willow Creek or Hawkeye Point.
We have those evergreen trees that really need to, there's a lot of dead that we need to
Sure, well,
trim out.
The other thing Andre had mentioned was if Ravelings are looking at moving the monument and they're thinking they're just gonna pick it up, go right across the yard, but we move a tree in between there, making sure that gets coordinated or timing is done, or at least they're aware when they're planning that that might be done soon. I guess I could just as soon see them moved as soon as possible and have more time before winter to let them get established, but.
I haven't heard when they're, or if John's talked to Ravelings, or I have
he
not.
said he did, but that's the contractor's gig.
I think they have talked to him, and one of the guys that runs the trains mentioned to me that they were gonna do something, so.
I thought he was putting that in as part of the whole bid project.
Yeah.
The
Probably.
proposal, so
I haven't seen a bid. I haven't.
They don't show it to us.
Did they say the 19th?
I thought they were gonna open them on October
Yeah, I
17th,
thought he was
yeah.
gonna release it on September 19 or something.
I guess that's Thursday. I don't have anything on the website, I don't
And
have,
receive something to review would be reasonable, I think.
he said I don't have to put it in the local papers. It goes to another website, so unless the board wants me to.
It's 9:10. We'll canvass the Harris Lake Park special election, and approve election costs.
Some turnout.
10%.
10?
Yeah, but it costs a lot of money for 28 people.
It's interesting. Fairly common for a special election
Yeah.
like that. Well, just maybe even lower, but
I even combined a precinct. That sheet there's all who voted. This is, you have to go through the list. The ones that are checked in the left-hand corner, they're the ones. They're just two separate lists.
That did vote.
Yeah, that one's who actually voted. This one is too, but you gotta look for the check marks to see who voted in that one. But I think it did pass in Dickinson County too, so.
votes cast.
Yeah, cost Osceola County was $2,800, so it was $101 per voter.
What'd that break down to for vote?
$101. Made me sick when I saw how much it actually cost. But that's just our county. I don't know what it cost in Dickinson.
It's probably more than
I had 2 precincts. I only had 1. I combined them,
What was
so
the final tally?
28 people voted out of 246.
How many voted yes and no?
Oh. Yep, 21 yes and 6 no. We had the audit and that balance, so. With the machines and.
How come is that I know that stupid thing's not working, I still keep looking up there.
force of habit. Except you wanna wait till it catches up.
Tell you what, I'll leave you, just keep the report up.
Oh, you know how it goes.
Okay.
Everybody got a chance to review the costs for the election?
That was $2,843.64, so. I probably need a motion to approve the canvas and then do this separately.
I'll take that first motion.
Motion to approve the canvas.
Or
Motion All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Carries. Approval of costs.
Motion to approve the cost to be assessed to the school district, correct?
Mhm.
I'll support that too.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Times change.
9:30. My apologies, I should have moved it up sooner.
Oh, we got time to wait to see if we figure out anything with the trees or use the bathroom.
Oh, thank you, Keith.
Who's the Harris clerk?
Sue Vanderveen.
Okay, that is.
Mm-hmm. No, Holly's not a clerk anymore in any city.
Who is it, Chief?
Kimberly Hoekstra.
Yeah.
Oh, Kim is?
Did they get back to you at all? Or haven't?
No, I found Melvin's and O'Cheaton's in the press, because they had their meeting and then listed everybody, but they had a list on the Harris Facebook page, but they listed Holly as the clerk, so I didn't know if that was in there. They said it was Sue Vander,
Yeah.
like Barb's would be.
Thank you, Keith.
Barb Vanderveen's name is spelled.
All right
Yes,
with
I
the
believe
world
so.
now?
Yep. Now I can start looking up there. You say you get in a habit like that, it's hard to break.
Yeah, I suppose Harris, they don't have to post, they probably don't have to publish their minutes
Yeah, I was wondering.
because they're under a certain limit. They don't even have to publish their budget. They probably just have to post them somewhere.
I was kind of wondering about that, because I think that's what I thought, they'd have to publish them someplace.
Yeah, but I don't think they have to.
Okay, I
probably.
think I wasn't sure of the stipulations.
I don't know who's all,
Yeah.
I can't
Their
tell ya.
council list was fairly close anyway.
in Ashton, I know they appointed somebody.
Yeah, and I found their minutes too,
Okay.
and that one was fairly recent, so. Or we'll hear about it later and correct it next time.
And there's just one page for that one, for DOT. Dave DeNoble said he's coming October 3rd to start the audit, so. Is there another, oh, I bet that's the rest of, it's the rest of the DOT budget, I'm guessing.
Maybe today I'll need the auditor broken page.
Okay, okay,
That's
okay.
you sign off on that one. They sign off on the contract. They never send back a signed version.
Is he doing okay, not working and enjoying it so
She's
far?
really enjoying her retirement. I was a little worried, maybe the first week, we went fishing that week of school.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I can get up and do what I want, she says. She babysits for the girls once a week,
Sure.
and, yeah,
Good.
no, she's liking it. She went to the fair one day with her sister, so, yep.
Her and I are a little worried, worried about if we can handle each other. We don't spend a lot of time together. He's working a lot.
That's been good. That's been
My
good. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know if I want to admit this, but when the kids were little and they all were home all summer and went to school, I'd usually cry for them when they were pulling out of the
I
driveway
know.
because I missed them. We get along good.
Kurt, well, he's a year older, so he gets retired a year before I do. I think we're gonna need that to ease into this.
How old is Kurt?
He's 59.
Oh, okay. You guys got a ways to go.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Kurt's sister, they're both retiring at the same time. Maybe that's split. It was harder on my dad when my mom retired than my mom, just because he could do whatever he wanted and didn't have to answer to anybody. And then mom was there, and then he couldn't do that as much. So that's okay.
You're not getting one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. She's doing what she can do. She just can't walk very far. And McKinley was invited to a Gophers game a couple weeks ago, and they got to tailgate with the team, and they got to go on the field with the team. And then while they were on the field, then on the big screen they told her story.
Oh.
So that was really fun, and she really wanted to go to that, but there's no way she could have walked that far.
Did you guys go?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yep, it was
I saw
fun.
Candy had posted.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was quite an honor.
Yeah.
And the dog got to go there, the service dog that helped her, and she was there, and she cries every time she says goodbye to that dog. She just loves that dog. So this week she has to have they have to go back to Minneapolis. She has to have a stress test done. So hopefully she gets to see Fern, but we'll see.
But she's still doing well.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. She had a heart monitor on, and they're showing some things, but the stress test, and then they're going to do a genetic testing. We have to do that yet. So, but yeah, for the most part, she's doing good. So, she's playing volleyball, which she never wanted to do before, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
Plus, she wants to do basketball, so she's not going to be their athletic one. She's going to be more in the fine arts, which is fine. So.
They got
Knox.
one.
Yeah, they got Noxie. He's gonna be their athletic one. Hopefully he stays good.
Nolan's in kindergarten this year, and they gotta walk down to the parade
Oh.
on
Oh,
Friday.
yeah.
He is exactly like his dad. Grandma, I don't wanna go down there and say rah, rah, rah. That's stupid. He said, can't you come and get me? He said, that's just, and I said, well, your father's son. No, because Kendall was not interested.
You know,
in
that
any
is
of
that, yeah.
The angels throw any candy.
And what's the point of going if I can't get candy?
They're still supposed to get something. It's not like
Yeah,
it's
it just,
really big.
yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Well, Caitlin's youngest, William, he goes, I know what 2 + 2 is, Grandma. I said, what? It's 4. See, I don't need to go to school. I already know everything. Yeah, he's going to preschool, and yeah, hopefully the younger 2 schools a little bit easy for McKinley. She has to work at it a little bit. Hopefully the younger 2 will. There's different kids.
The all school reunion in Melbourne last week.
Yeah, I saw pictures of that.
Had a couple hundred people there.
That's
It was
awesome.
Really kind of surprising.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Who was that one that was like 100 years old, the only one in her
Close
class?
balance.
Okay.
So who puts that on there? Is there a committee then?
There was just Joanne Minkowicz,
Oh,
if you know
yeah.
Joanne or not.
Yep.
She just last spring said we're gonna try to have a school reunion, and
That's
it
awesome.
wasn't nothing fancy. I mean, it was no big meal or anything, but
That's
it
okay.
was an afternoon just to sit
Mhm.
down and.
Just
it
to
was
talk? Good.
Yeah, it was really, really
That's
fun.
awesome. Usually have one in, usually in Little Rock, like every 3 years, but.
They haven't had them all since the centennial,
Mm.
which was in, well, it'll be 24 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And what Phil said yesterday, he says, he says, I don't know why I went, he says, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's awesome.
That's almost probably better than having the big to-do, just to
Mhm.
come and
Yeah.
Just
enjoy
talk and,
relax.
yep.
That's kind of what our last one was. It was-
About a half-hour little program, and it was good. I had my 45th the night before,
Oh,
but we had 18 in our class, and there was only 9 of us there. But then several of them don't live around here,
mhm.
just to come for reunions.
Right.
But it makes a difference if parents are still alive.
Yeah,
but when
it
parents,
does.
you know,
Yeah, it does. We should have had our 40th, but no one planned it, and I'm not planning it, so.
We had our 50th at 53.
I don't think Lindsay's class in Ocheyedan, she graduated the same year, has ever had one.
Mm-mm. We've had our 5. I was in charge of our 5 and our 10, but Kurt had
You
to.
have someone to get it
Yeah.
done. We've had one every 5 years.
Yeah, we have not.
We had our 50th at the beginning of COVID, so that got postponed for a while.
Kurt had his 40th last year at Central Line, but he hasn't gone for a long time, so.
Our class was never that close.
Yeah,
It
Kurt,
makes a difference.
Kurt was a farm kid, so he couldn't participate in a lot of things, so he was kind of outcast a little bit. But he had a big class
You
too.
know, and your goal is whichever class has the 50th, they're the ones that should put on the all-school
Oh.
and just do it every year.
Right, right.
Who can come.
Right.
That makes, to me, it makes some
Sense, yeah.
sense, so.
Sounds like fun. It's nice to see people that you don't normally see or that live far away, There's some people in my class I haven't seen since
Since you
graduated.
The funny part of it is, quite often, it's the people that live quite a ways away will be there. No
Yes.
ones that live right
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm, that's
don't
true.
show up.
Yep, that's where
That is very
Idaho,
true.
I think, was the furthest away somebody came.
That's awesome.
Do you want to suspend this meeting or adjourn it?
What else we got left to do?
The tree thing.
Let's see if we can get that put to bed.
I'm gonna take a motion to suspend this meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Got that school spirit this week, huh?
Jersey Day today.
I looked, I think Trevor has all of his jerseys. Every time I go there, I find some of his stuff. I bring it to him out. Surprisingly, he doesn't throw it away. Caitlin's more of a thrower. Trevor keeps it. I'm shocked. I found his baby book, and he still had that on the counter when he dropped it off last time. I was like, oh, can't believe you still have that. I thought you would have pitched that. Charlie turned 2 this week, so we went up there, and whew, she's sassy. She's gonna give her mom and dad a run for their money.
It's after grandma, huh?
I don't know. Yeah. She says, I'm not naughty.
We'll open up the joint drainage district 2 meeting. Any changes to the agenda?
I don't have any.
No support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Rick Hopper retired. I said Rick Hopper retired.
Did he? Good. I was trying to get his name, I said,
You get that email from Cole that I,
And I guess we're the controlling county for this.
We
So
are.
Cole said.
we are. I know this doesn't pertain to this, but it's a joint 3. We thought we had like $131,000 worth of damage, so they were gonna file with FEMA. Try to collect on that. Some of that stuff is so little that minute that it doesn't pay to, but he thought that was a substantial amount to do, so he was filing on that.
Comments, questions, concerns?
Or we have our own bill.
Well, as the controlling county, I guess, whether or not you wanted them to use Jacobs and Westergaard, but he said the majority of the work, or all the work is being done in Dickinson, is that right?
I'm not 100% sure on that. But the petition was for Dickinson County repair, so.
I don't know if they've taken a lead.
I think so.
Yeah, the repairs is in 36 or 31 of their township in Dickinson, so.
I guess I don't have at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need a motion for that?
Yeah, any other comments or questions?
Did you want to do the motion that he suggested in there?
I
or-
surely can.
Yes. I'll make that motion.
Consider a request for repairs on joint drainage disc.
And then potentially motion from
Motion
Dickinson.
made from this point. Approve tentative motion from Dickinson County to direct Jacobs and Westergaard and Associates to investigate and provide repair recommendations on Joint District 2, Branch 60. Is that your motion?
Yes. Support. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Support. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Any stakes out there by now?
Would you have sent that to Kellen?
What to Kevin?
Okay.
Send what to Kevin?
John.
There's an orange cone. I think that was there when I got here.
Jason reached out to him and he just said that he would have somebody here first thing Tuesday morning, so.
Did you say what, Tuesday morning?
I thought this Tuesday, but and he said first thing, so to me it was not 9:30 in the morning, but
Take a motion to reopen the board meeting.
I'll make the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So I say we just make the motion to move the trees wherever they gotta go, maybe, since they haven't staked nothing out.
Well, whatever they.
Some of them should stay here, because it takes more time to
Yeah,
go
I'm
trees.
not, yeah, if we can, utilize them,
Andy Gakey had submitted $250 an hour for moving the smaller ones. I'd make a motion to have him move. Wow. He also said that there was someone else that could move the bigger one, and he estimated about 1,100. I guess I'd still want to see that moved.
That's still pretty cheap to move a tree that big. all things considered.
It is. We've had talked to somebody that really a tree person that
You could talk to Dell's.
what the survival rate on something like that would be.
That's what I'm kind of curious about. If it's only a 10% survival rate,
And just go buy a $100 tree and have them move it in.
yeah.
That's gonna be a quarter of that size probably.
Well, granted, yeah, you won't buy one, I mean, they won't, but
If the odds aren't in your favor of it living.
From what I've seen from Reggie, I don't think he's gonna let something die. But, I mean,
So if you wanna talk to Dell, cause that would be your nearest arborist
yeah,
for your,
I will, I got some trees from there a while back.
and they're usually pretty straight shooters.
How big would you guys estimate that is? 30 feet, 40?
Or how big is the trunk?
yeah, generally, what they say, over 12 inches, they're not likely to move.
How big is that? It's over 12, isn't it? Or not?
Close.
Close.
I'll see what he says.
Get the yards counter. You'll take right around there.
I can guess it.
So what's our motion then for this?
A motion, we table this till next week's meeting.
Alright. Anybody want to support it?
I'll support them.
All those in favor of tabling this till next meeting?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Sorry, I was writing that I was an aye.
You're a nut.
Anything else for the day?
I'll make the motion to call it a day.
I'll support it.
All those in favor? All those opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.
So you were a yay or a nay? Yay.
Yeah, I just was writing and didn't say it, sorry.
Anybody else going to that meeting tomorrow or?